A nice little week here in WoW with some news to get into, so let's talk about some of the things going on in and out the world of Warcraft. Here we go. Plunderstorm Creator Royale happened this weekend. We'll talk a little bit about how that ended. A little bit controversial. We'll watch the highlight here and see what you think about the person who won the Plunderstorm tournament and how exactly they won it. Oh, what's going on here? It's a giveaway, a giant giveaway. That's right, and it ends this Friday, January 31st. I'm announcing the winner of the Double Mount giveaway. You still got time to win it. All you got to do is join 1 hour of this shitty stream. Every hour that you're here, you get a point to enter to the giveaway. So get in here, 5 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. I'm live. Put up with my shitty-ass voice and my ugly-ass face for 1 hour, and you could win 2 mounts off the BNet store. The hub of the Goblin Ingenuity Undermine Zone previews continue. We'll talk a little bit about what the changes are, 11.1 PTR, and how Drive looks a little bit better. We'll see how the preview looks for that. And then Joyous Journeys 50% experience buff for those of you who are classic Andys out there. Maybe you want to be a classic Andy. Well, this might be your shot to do so. Cataclysm Classic is now offering a 50% boost to your experience until the next patch comes out, whenever that is. So you can level up to 85, 50% faster. If you already have a character that's cap level, you can create a new one, invite some friends, and play with the character boost. Now, you can actually go to Dalaran and turn this offer on if you don't want it on, but I don't know who the hell wouldn't want the character boost. So you can do this as long as the next patch hasn't come out yet, which doesn't have a current date, I believe. So go ahead, get into Cataclysm Classic if you want, and get your 50% boost. Now, let's talk a little bit about Plunderstorm and the Creator Royale. Now, we all know I was invited to this thing, and I turned it down because I didn't feel like showing my true power level to everybody in Plunderstorm. So I let the the peasants go play in the tournament. Anyways, the tournament ended in a very interesting way. So if you don't know how this thing went, basically there were rankings that went out, and the top 10 got to play in the final round. So here you go. You see the top 10 right there. These are the people who got to participate in the final free-for-all. Winner take all, the $50,000 grand prize, and it ended in an interesting way. Here it is. Let's see this real quick.
This is the most ratty final we've ever seen. Ness is gonna die.
Basically,
He's waving at
you had about 4 teams at the end that fought it out, and one of the players, Genji, used a rocket boost to get on top of the tower over here and essentially sit outside of the range of combat, but close enough to the storm that he wasn't getting hit with the lightning. And basically, he just watched his enemy dance their way to death. With 0 kills, their team won. Genji's team won with 0 kills in the final tournament round. Yeah, he ratted his way to victory, basically. Listen to the announcements here as... and Mess lasted for a long time here.
Mess is a god for being able to stay alive. Yeah, Mess,
if anything, this is
Look at how long he stayed alive.
Bro.
Not like this. Gingy, you rat. I love this.
And that was how Genji and Mears won. With 0 kills in the final round of the tournament, Genji and Mess won. That's right, Amir's won, and there was no no repercussions for what they did. They just said, hey, they figured out a way to use it. The Gnomish Gravity Launcher. I'm sure Blizzard's going to put an Invisa Shield up there from now on because I'm sure this is going to be something people try to do. Wow, world first exploits. Yeah, basically. I doubt that's going to be something you could do in Plunderstorm for much longer. I'm sure Blizzard will patch that out. But anyways, that was how they won. Yeah, and unfortunately, Zaryu, many know I'm known as a scuffed Zaryu, or the dollar store version of Zaryu. They had the most kills, 59 eliminations in the tournament in total. Unfortunately, overall, they were first, but they didn't get the grand prize because they didn't finish first in the final round. I believe they were the third to last team eliminated in that. I watched it, and Peekaboo got jumped from the storm, and then Zarya ended up dying as well. Very interesting. It was Max and Trill's fault for going up there first. True. They ambushed, I think it was Peekaboo from up there, didn't they? I watched the end of it. It was pretty interesting. Fun tournament. Maybe next year I'll accept the invite. Moving on to the drive system at 11.1. So this system, if you watch the beginning iterations of it, it looked very dizzying, to be honest. That thing was wild to watch and hard to watch. Well, a lot of changes have been made to the way the boosting works, the drifting works. Also, a horn has been added where you can honk at people as they drive by. It looks smoother. The gameplay looks much smoother to me now. I don't know about you guys. I think it looks much nicer. It looks much more bearable in terms of the speeds and everything. They did change the first engine that you initially get. which will give you a slower top speed but faster acceleration. Obviously, you can unlock all the different engines, customize your vehicle. We know all this stuff. But to me, so far, all of this looks much more, much smoother, right? Much nicer, I think. They limited the amount of boost, right? Because they said the system simply can't handle the speeds that were being used before. You remember we saw loading issues and stuff like that. This second iteration, it looks like of Drive, to me looks better. And I'm sure they'll continue to iterate on it. I'm excited to get in there and try it. As I said before, they added a horn to Drive now, and the horn has a cooldown. So if you keep using it, you'll get this little cooldown here that says, stop honking so much, you know what you did. I think it's a 1 minute cooldown on that. So yeah, it's also way slower. It is slower by a couple percentage points for top acceleration, for boost and everything. They kind of adjusted a few things. So it was like, what, 300% faster than dragon riding or something? So it could be a little bit slower and still feel fast. Overall, I think the changes they made so far are pretty good, and we'll continue to track this as it gets iterated on. Reverted class changes, 11.1 PTR. Was this reverted? New class tuning hotfixes. I don't know if this is still going through. Edits, these changes appear to have been reverted. Oh, no. Oh, no. So maybe Arms and Fury are going to eventually get their love, but it looks like Blizzard had put in a bunch of damage increases for warriors, both Arms and Furry warriors. That's right. I guess they reverted these, so at least you know if you're a warrior, Blizzard's looking at changing your class up and giving you guys some buffs, which I do. I feel bad for warriors. It looks like they need some changes right now, looking at the DPS charts. But these aren't going to be the changes, so we'll just ignore this little article here. These changes are not going through, but Blizzard's paying attention to your class, hopefully, so eventually you will get some good changes. And then last but not least here, a first look at the new Mythic Pulsar affix. Now, we've seen this. This is supposed to replace Zalatas Bargain Oblivion, which is one of the least favorite affixes right now in Season 1 because of how damn buggy it was. Along with the rest of Season 1, it just wasn't that great. But here it is, the Void Pulsar. Zalatas summons Void Pulsars that orbit. After 15 seconds, the Void Pulsar releases energy that grants the creatures around you Zalatas' gift, increasing their damage done by 10% and reducing the damage they take by 20%. If you do the right thing with this mechanic, though, players will absorb the power-up, granting them 4% mastery and 2% leech. Let's see how this mechanic works. I think some of you guys have already seen this, but here it is. Let me make sure that this is nice quality here. Yep. It's not, because it's a Twitch playback clip. Quality 1080p. There we go. So you'll see the orbs come out, and basically you can't absorb your own orb, but your partners can. So you got to let this thing rotate into one of your partners. As it collapses on people, it does a little bit of damage, but in the end, if all the pulsars are absorbed, everybody gets a nice big buff, stacking up to 5 right there. You see 1 for every group member, and you can burn shit down, right? You get your little buff for a little while. Looks like it's going to last about 30 seconds here, and DPS some shit down. A nice little Kiss Curse mechanic. Looks like it's more doable than the previous one. Zalatas, what was it called? Zalatas Bargain Oblivion. So it's a better one than that. We'll have to see how that all works in the end. But so far, the Void Pulsar to me looks good. And overall, hopefully Season 2 looks better than Season 1 was. We'll have to see how all of this ends up working out. But that is all in terms of news.